This is amazing. Oh, I miss this place so much. Thank you, Grassway, for having me. This is fantastic. For the guys that know me and don't know me, my name is Moody. It is a nickname, like happy, sad, angry, glad. It was given to me in Chattanooga many years ago by a manager who couldn't pronounce my real name, which is, basically everybody. My real name is Moody Molavi. I was born in Iran, and that's the welcome I normally get. That's it right there. That boy say he's from Iran. You hear the safety going off, Kilgore's gun over there. I don't know if he said it was raining or he said he's Iranian. That is the biggest Iranian I've ever seen, man. He might be a Trojan horse packed full of a whole bunch of little Iranians. I've dealt with that my whole life, man. Well, I say my whole life. When I was 6 years old, we moved here. My mom is from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and she is just this American powerhouse of a mom. And I'm going to choke up because this Mother's Day, and, we were in Iran, and Iran is a beautiful country. Let me tell you, it's beautiful. People think it's desert. It's not. It's rolling mountains. Look up the mountains in Iran, not now, but, later on, Google it. But it's like purples and yellows and greens and reds. It's like you would never believe all this stuff is out there. Beautiful people and just a strange government. So, wait, that's everywhere. So, never know what you're going to get. It's a box of chocolates every 4 years. So, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so Mom persevered so much. My dad, Iranian, a Mom, American. She's Methodist. He wasn't. So he was Muslim, and growing up with both of them was great. They both had their faith, and they both compartmentalized it. And they didn't really share it with us. And when they argued, it wasn't like living through the Crusades, but it was close. So later on, I became Baptist, and that you want to really get two people from different faiths mad at one person. That's how you do it, right there. This is not what I expected out of my son, And so I'm an Iranian Southern Baptist. Just means I praise with more spirit than any of y'all, You're out here singing hallelujah. There's a great song like Raise a Hallelujah. I carry it out. It's more like hallelujah. I get really into it. Hallelujah. If you ever have problems like raising your hands in praise, that's the reason I'm up front. He's right there. What do we do? I'm scared. That's what happens. But yeah, so I found my faith through the neighbor that I had. He told me about it. Mom never shared her faith with me, and which is cool, I guess. And she wanted me to figure out on my own. And my dad, when he asked me where his prayer rock was one day, man, that was bad. I thought it was a skipping stone. It was in this cool little bag. He got so mad at me. But what's funny about Iranian dads and American dads, they're identically the same. They just have different accents, right? I remember we would have people come over to the house when we were in the States and over here, and he would be dressed in only his undergarments and sitting on the couch, laid back, watching CNN headline news, wondering why it's the same thing every 30 minutes. I'm like, hey, I got friends coming over, Dad. I need you to get dressed or whatever. He goes, I don't care. It's my house. My rules, my boxers. It's just like an American dad. Just a different accent's all it is. And, so when Mom left, it was 1979 when she left, and we got here in 1981. And because the Iranian Revolution had broken out, and my oldest brother was very close to being at the draftable age. He was 12 at the time, but around 13, 14, it's weird and funny to think about, but it's true. And Mom's like, we can't do this. So we moved to Greece, because back then, you would have, I was 4 years old and I was in first grade. That's just how it is. And you learn English, you learn Farsi, you learn French. That was what we were in. And so then when we got to Greece, we were following that school, that American school that was there. And they lost funding, so then we went to Spain, and we found a school that taught English, Farsi, German, Spanish. So now I'm 5. But they put me in first grade because I'm too young. I get the Asian flu. Lived in a little bubble for a while. Mom was a nurse. That's how they met. Dad was a doctor. She was a nurse. And for some reason, it was like, we do really good yelling at each other in the ER. Let's go back to my house. That's how they got married. Make a family, when she got to Iran, he had to go serve in the military for 3 years. That was kind of left out. And so she's like, wait a second, I'm here, I'm pregnant, with our first child, and I don't know anybody, I don't know the language, and here I am by myself. What do I do? And Iran, beautiful people, and they lived in this little apartment across from some markets. And there it was like, of course you're talking about the 60s. It was, you had a market for your general goods, you had a market for your dairy, you had a market for your meats, and you had a market where they're making fresh bread. That's what it was like. But Dad was gone. Mom didn't know the language, and she felt really awkward. Like, how do I go get food? And she's getting hungry, and she's there 2 weeks, and she can't figure out how to go get stuff. But she's learning what she can through the television, teaching herself. Again, she was an RN at the time, very smart lady. She finally gathers all the cash that she had. She didn't know what the denominations were or whatever. And she goes across the street, and there's these 2 old guys sitting in their chairs at the little bistro table like this, kind of like the old guys from the Muppet Show, except very deep accents like these. And they're like, which means, hey, how are you? And that's about all I remember. So she says in her broken Farsi, I'm just trying to get some food. Thank you very much. And they say in English, oh, what can we help you? She goes, you know English? She goes, of course we know English. Because they all learn it. It's a common language. So she was so relieved. And she goes, okay, I don't know how much money this is. I need to get food. And they're like, we're wondering what you were doing. You've been there for a long time and not come out. So we figured you're hungry. Let us take you around. So these 2 old guys didn't know my mom at all, walked her through the stores and showed her what things were, because everything's in Farsi. And they were telling her how much this costs and all this stuff. And she goes, I don't know if I have enough money. And they're like, everything is paid for. Don't worry about it. Anything you want, everything's paid for. We'll set it up with Dr. Molavi when he gets back from serving in the military, which basically, that's what they do. All the men serve 3 years after they get back from college or when they turn 18 or whatever the situation is. That's amazing. So they were willing to take care of her just because that's what they did. That's what people do. It wasn't for anything else. And this just blew her away. The level of community that's there is amazing. And that's what Christ's way was for us when we were here. My wife had broken her leg. God bless her. I don't even know how she walked around. It was the weirdest thing. She was walking around with a broken foot for hours. And the community here came together, built a ramp at our house, and it was just a tearjerker moment. And that's just what Christ's way does all the time, And that's what gatherings do. I was taught many years ago through production. When I worked at production, man, that is one of the best things to hear. And I'm very biased because I did it. But if you guys want to volunteer, do that. Running lyrics for John, you will learn a lot. Because you've got to keep him on his game, keep him where he needs to be. But you're learning that stuff. So, yeah, you're doing the lyrics and you're putting the stuff on the screen. But, man, you are learning. I learned more doing that for John than, anything else I've ever done as an adult. And it really helped me understand this human I thank you message that Neil was alluding to earlier, which I'll get to in a moment. But anyway, so Mom, she brought us 3 Iranian baby boys to Chattanooga, Tennessee in the South in 1981. I don't know if you remember what was going on then, but there was this hostage situation that everybody hated Iran. Well, they still hate Iran now, too. But you couldn't have anybody sleep over. Like, no one wants to come over and spend the night. It's like, yeah, it's because their parents don't think they're going to come back home. It's probably why, you know? And we couldn't even pass the exams. Like, I was 6, and Mom wanted me to be in 2nd grade. And they're like, he's too young. He needs to be kindergarten, maybe first. She's like, he's done 1st grade in 2 continents. Can we please move on? And so we had to pass the entrance exam, and we couldn't because we're from Iran, and the entrance exams here are based on white Americana culture. And we didn't know that culture, right? Like, we didn't understand iced tea because iced tea made no sense. We always drank it hot, and we called it chai. Now you guys are calling it chai. Hey, I want some chai tea. You have any idea how, well, stupid that sounds to anybody else in the world? You're asking for TT, which doesn't sound appealing to a 6-year-old. No, I don't want TT. I want chai. My dad, when he would come and visit, we went to Red Lobster, and he's looking at the menu, he's like, mahi, mahi? What is this? 2 fishes? It says fish, fish, because in the rest of the world, mahi, especially Persian, means fish. So all you have on your menu, you're saying fish, fish, right? I didn't need to order the fish, fish, and the waiter's like, you want 2 fishes? I can get you 2 fishes. You want 2 fishes? I don't know, it's your menu, you figure it out, you know? What kind of fish is this? It's mahi. I know it's mahi! It's fish! He was a funny little fella. I remember when I first started driving, he was telling me, well, the way he would sit in the car is just weird. It's like conversational. You should sit in the car like this and maybe talk like this. But no, what he does is this. How he did it is beyond me. Like, he took his knees and put them over here. I don't know. But he's like talking to me, and his entire torso is like taking up the window. And I'm at this stop sign. I'm looking like, I need you to turn around. I need to see the traffic before I pull out. And he's like, I'll tell you when it's clear. You're good, go. I'm like, I need to see it with my own eyes. Why would I lie to you? I'm going to get hit first. I will tell you the truth. So, yeah, and I would honk my horn. He goes, you can't honk the horn. You can't honk the horn unless it's emergency. And what does that even mean? See, dads, no matter where they're from, they just make stuff up. I think they learned that in business. If you're in America, in any kind of business, every project is 2 weeks. You want to know why? Because it's MSU. Somebody made stuff up. If you look at it real close, it's probably because that manager's going on vacation right after that 2 weeks, and he wants to get it done. And so it's like, well, I know I've got too much stuff on my employees now, so I can't say it'll be done in 1 week. I can't promise that to my manager. 4 weeks seems non-committal, and 3 weeks is just odd. You know, because math. So 2 weeks. It's like a gang sign. 2 weeks. Anybody in business knows this. And if you're chuckling, it's because you've done it to somebody. And if you're laughing, you're like, yes, it's been done to me. So anyway, so Dad's doing this MSU thing. And I said, what do you mean? It's against the law? He goes, yes, every time you see a fine, it's $50. $50 for every time you honk the horn. So what is that, 100? Because I did 50 earlier? Stupid. I'm up to 250. What is that? What is that? 300? What was that? Stupid. Trying to get to 1,000. Yeah, that's what I did. But so I did this comedy special, 2019. And it was so painful. And I mean it's painful because I had this ruptured disc. And if anybody's ever seen it, they'll notice that I'm pitched forward a lot. Like I wrote jokes for that. I would write jokes to do this because it would release the sciatic pain. If anybody's got sciatica, you'll know what I mean. And it would just be painful from my hip all the way down to my leg. I couldn't walk more than 200 steps without a walker. And hardly anybody knew that. And it was very embarrassing. Exactly what the baby said. She knows. She knows. Is that the one Neil had? Did he have a baby? No. So he was going to bring a baby up here. No one trusted him. So I put it in the beard. It'd be cool. Just wear a little beard collar. What's up? So anyway, it was very painful. And these comments come in, and it's been seen several million times, which is fantastic. I thought that was a huge blessing from God. You know, this is something I've always wanted to do comedy since we got here. But the way we actually got through the entrance exam was because the lady goes, all our foreign students have this problem. And she asked my mom, do you have cable? And mom's like, I've been in Iran. I don't even know what cable means. And so she told her. And as a good mom, she bought every single channel. And at that point, I fell in love with Eddie Murphy. And so this is how I got into comedy. I was 6 years old, like, he's amazing. So I'm just telling the truth. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. But anyway, so I had this special, and there were thousands of positive comments, but there were some negative ones. And the negative ones, they were deep. You know, it was always about my weight or my heritage, you know, and it really cut deep, and I didn't realize how deep until I just couldn't move. You know, I couldn't lay down comfortably. I couldn't sit comfortably. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I gained over 470 pounds. I was 470 plus in February of last year. I don't know how much because the scale didn't go past 470. I'd get on it. It would just say like ERR. Like it's scared to tell me or something. Like, tell me the truth. Like you can't handle the truth. And it was very sad. I did all sorts of diets. Fat people, we don't need nutritionists to tell us what to do. We know nutrition. We've tried it. What we need is something to deal with the apathy because it's what it is. I know I shouldn't eat that, but I don't care. You know, I'll justify different things like, well, that's not a donut. That's a lettuce wrap. Well, that's what we'll do. Yeah. But it's bad. Let's not look at appetite suppressant. Look at something that'll be apathy suppressant. But it got really, really bad. The bed broke. The bed broke. That is embarrassing. My wife and I have been married 23 years, and she's my high school sweetheart. And one of the reasons we've been married that long is because we have a king-size bed, because it provides distance, right? You think that you've got a relationship with somebody like, man, she's hot. So, oh, he's hot. We're so hot together. But 3 years into it, it's a different kind of hot. You know, it's like, get up off of me, hot. We have 45 throw pillows on the bed for a reason. It's because she wants to build some sort of barrier. Stay away from me, which normally works out well because she reads books at night, and I think she stole some sort of book light that was off of a four-wheel drive truck, like an LED bar, like 45 LEDs or something. I woke up with a suntan down the left side of my body. I had to build up the pillows so I can have some sort of sunset so I can go to sleep. So the bed broke. And let me tell you how much pain I was in. I could never get out of bed without falling to my knees. I would have to literally slide out of bed. At first, it would take me 2 minutes to just move to my side because it hurt that bad. And then I would drop my legs off the bed, and I would slide down, and I would hit my knees on the floor. And then it would take 5 minutes to push myself up. I couldn't do this because it hurt my wrist. I'd have to push like this on the bed and on the nightstand. I'd have to lift myself up every single day. Every single day. And when the bed broke and my friends and my son were rebuilding the bed, all I could do was watch. And they put a big metal frame in there, 9 posts, and it won't break now. But man, that took my pride and absolutely just crushed it. To watch my son have to fix my bed, it still kills me. But anyway, I got to the point where I slid off the bed one day. It was late June of last year, in 2020. And I just stayed there, and I prayed. And I asked God, I said, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. And it wasn't probably the next day. Kelly, my wife, she's like, hey, I really want to get into some sort of diet, some sort of something. Here's some plans. Can we look at them? I'm like, oh, this again. And one of them came across my screen, and I was like, a friend of mine had done that in Atlanta. She's also a comedian, and she was doing it to lose weight for her 50th birthday, and it really worked out for her. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. And all it did was teach us how to look at food differently. Look at it as a calculation, like, do you really want to have this? If it's cool, have anything you want. Eat anything you want. No food is bad. Just put it inside your caloric budget for the day, whatever that is. If you want, exercise, it'll increase your caloric budget. And so that just really took place. This concept helped me develop this other concept, which I call moodivation. It's motivation and moody put together. And I just want to be real with people. I mean, I was almost 500 pounds, man. I've lost 82 pounds since February of last year. And thank you. I still got to lose 200 pounds. Like, I don't know how much you weigh, but it's probably close. I got to lose you. I got to get you out of me. And if it's not 200, you and your little dog too. So that's a lot. It's a lot. But what I did was I looked at, can we pull up Galatians? So Galatians, the fruit of the Spirit. This is the key for me in everything. Every situation, I have this thing called take the LSD. And it means take the least stressful decision. It's not the drug. But it's a neat way to remember, take the least stressful decision. So everything that I've got, every problem that I have to look at this. Because this is the answer for me to deal with negative people. This is the answer for me to deal with I'm negative with people. Is, how is the Holy Spirit helping me in this? What does he want me to see? Okay, so let's look at that. What's in my toolbox? I got love, I got joy, I got peace. All right, I got forbearance. What does that mean? It means, tolerance. I got, or patience. I got kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All of this helps me deal with negative people. It also helps me from being negative to other people. It also helps me understand what I need to do for my future self, and that's the key for me. The key for me was thinking that, okay, there's 3 people in my life. There's the past self that he knows what he did. He knows all those decisions that he did. He's not going to lie to you. He knows exactly what he did. And my current self can look at my past self as a coach. It's like, should I do this? And the past self's pretty much going to say no to everything. He's kind of like an insurance claims adjuster. Don't do that. We've done that before. And then my future self is like my teenage sons. They're just this innocent, aloof character. It's like, well, I don't know what's going on. Current self has to deal with everything, all the selfishness. Right? And so it's like the tongue is a consultant in corporate America, and the brain is all the C-level people, like the CEOs, CFOs, and all those people are up here because, penthouse, right? And then you have the tongue as the consultant, like, you really need to have this chocolate cake. It's going to be amazing. Or hot food. We really want hot food today. And all the other people in the company, in the body, the organs, know this is a bad idea. Don't do that. The gallbladder is like, no more rich food. Please stop it. We won't even get any further than that because they really hate the spicy food. Sure, the tongue can handle it on, little piece by little piece, but we get it all at the same time. It's horrible. So, the imagery in my head just went through there. All right, cool. So, you got the current self, and that's what I'm doing. Through all my things that I'm dealing with, I know that negative thoughts don't come from God. They don't come from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit gives us the fruit of the Spirit, and that's the stuff. There's no negativity in any of that. Okay, so what's the positive thing? The positive thing is what I need to focus on, right? So that special that I did, as much as I thought it would help me from a comedy career, it really helped me spiritually because I broke down. I finally fell to my knees. I fell to my knees. And I prayed to God, taking the LSD was letting God take over. Take the LSD for me is trusting God, having faith that God will provide something. And what he did was he put so many different people in my path over the last 9 months and has taught me how to take care of my future self, because that's my job. I want to serve other people, and the most important person in my life I've got to serve is this future self. Love thy neighbor as you would love yourself. Well, guess what? It's not love yourself now. It's love yourself in the future. How are you going to treat your future self? What are you going to do? Children, homework. That's an idea. Just from a dad letting you know it's good to turn things in on time. Your future self will appreciate it, because if you have a father like me, they will grill you. What have you done for your future self today? My sons know this. I don't even ask them, did you turn stuff in? I was like, is your future self going to be yelled at? Is your future self going to fail because of what you decided to do today? And if they're being good, they're like, good point. I got to go back and do some homework. It's all about, remember in the airport or in the airplanes where you have the little mask, and they always say, put your mask on first before you serve somebody else? It's the same thing. I wear a CPAP on a plane because I've got sleep apnea. That's where fat people go to sleep and they die. All the fat cells in your neck are like, we're done. When he's sleeping, let's just catch him off guard and just block his airway. And the FAA has approved CPAPs. Can you imagine this? I'm wearing this big old octopus on my face like this. Air coming through. Control positive air pressure is what CPAP stands for. And the guy next to me is like, what's that? He's like, it's so I don't die. Hello, my name is Mahmoud. How are you? See you when I wake up, maybe. So it's, anyways, it's what I've done. Serving my future self is a big deal for me, and using the fruit of the Spirit to understand each one of those things. When people are being negative to me, that's it. I break it down. The human I thank you story is the word humanity broken up in a text message, human, I-T-Y. And what it means is when we first see somebody, in our today, it's not like the old guys across the street from my mom in Iran. Today, is that person bad for me? How's that person bad for me? That's what we go for. I was wearing this Blackman hoodie. I wear it all the time because it fits. That's why I wear it. It's a 4X. I was wearing 5 and 6X shirts. This is a 4 and it fits. It's comfortable. And I wear it all the time. It says Blackman on it. And I was doing shows in Louisville recently, and some gentlemen came up to me and were yelling at me. And were like, oh, you a black man? You a black man? Oh, you a black man? I was like, it's my kid's school, and it's one name. It's not 2 words together. And, of course, their pride was lit up, and they had to let go themselves. But it was that. How's that person bad for me? Human, I think, is a concept actually Neil and I had thought about over lunch one day. And the idea is, how can I be good for the person in front of me right now? What can I do? Let me ask their name. Let me develop a relationship. Let me smile. Tell them a joke, something. Keep in touch with them. Make them feel significant. Make them realize that they are valued. They're a valuable person. One of my favorite things to do is customer service people. Is when I call them, I'll ask them their names, right? And so I can develop that relationship. What's your name? Rachel. Rachel, nice to meet you. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm good. Thanks for asking. How can I help you? Well, I've got this problem. My car warranty. Yeah, we hate those calls, right? But I actually was calling them, so that's a little different, isn't it? My car warranty was sold to me was actually a piece of junk. It was a bad deal when I bought it. It was supposed to be like free oil changes, whatever. Anyway, so we get through it, and she's telling me there's really nothing we can do. Yes, you're correct. This was sold to you incorrectly. You require synthetic oil, and your vehicle was, you bought this conventional oil thing, which is not enough money to cover the synthetic oil stuff. And that was where the problem was. She goes, what you can do, though, is you can write a letter and saying, hey, you need to get it cashed out because it was the wrong warranty, whatever. And she was coaching me through all this stuff. You know why she was coaching me through this stuff? Because I was kind to her. I was kind to her. We're going back to the fruit of the Spirit thing. I was good to her because she's a real person. She didn't wake up that morning like, who can I enjoy being yelled at today? Customer service is a very difficult job. I did it for many years. And people only call you when they're mad. They never call you like, hey, man, everything's working great. Just wanted to let you know. All right, bye. They always have a problem. So we get through the call, and I'm making her laugh throughout the call. And I said, hey, Rachel, I appreciate your time. I really, because I told her, I said, I'm going to be really mad, but it's not your fault. I'm mad because I got swindled by the person that sold me the car. It's not your fault. So if I get upset, no, it's not about you. So anyway, I told her that earlier. At the end of the call, I said, Rachel, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this call? 1 being poor and 10 being fantastic. I would love to have this kind of call again. And she goes, I would totally give it a 9. I said, 9. All right. Care to explain? Well, she said, well, because you told me that, you were going to get angry, but it's not about me. And you also asked me my name, and I thought that was amazing. And that we were having this conversation. I felt that we built a friendship, and I don't get that. So I'm definitely a 9. A 9, okay. After this call is over, there's going to be a survey. Rachel, that system only goes to 5, okay? 5. I really need a 5. I hope you understand what that means. Do you think you can give me a 5, Rachel? She's like, I will totally give you a 5, absolutely. I said, okay, well, thank you. I appreciate your time. And then I put my phone on mute, and I waited. And just waited for her to hang up, and she never did. 30 seconds later, I unmuted. I said, Rachel, do you understand that I'm just a consumer? I don't have this kind of system. I'm just messing with you. And she just busts out laughing like, that was so amazing. I said, can I have my 10 now? She goes, 10 all day long, 10, 10, 10.